Welcome back to Valley Boys TCGCK here, and we're continuing our run with the blue Golem deck, and we're here in the final round playing against a Rainbow Smagg deck. And I'm playing here against buddy Anthony, who we actually played against each other in the final round when I was running the white Frost Tiger deck. But that time his Rainbow deck was not doing as well. I would say the Smagg never came out in that gameplay, so I labeled it as kind of a Rainbow deck, and I think I had the Scope Owl as the main icon for the deck, but it's actually a Smagg deck, or a Smagg and K deck. So really good Rainbow deck, very strong, and it is going to give us a lot of issues here, as you'll see. So we get a Nexus out already, we get our Block Golem, so it's a good start for us. And he's got Smagg on board already with the Volcanic Canyon. So we're both got some pretty good setup going. And we discussed kind of the builds going forward. And he's already pitched a Derm Dyna, and he's kind of voiced that Derm Dyna felt like almost the worst card in the deck for him. Like, it's just one that he keeps pitching. He never really finds the right use for it. And I kind of feel that. I get that. And so we get to mill, and we mill a Beldegor. Now, and see, there he pitches another Derm Dyna. So he mills a Beldegor, and that's where some of our issues start, because we realize that a lot of our spirits are 3 cost, and so that Beldegor can just kind of eat a lot of what's on board. So he Burning Forces away, which is probably the right thing. Well, Lighthouse should do more. Seabed Lighthouse should do more to stop him from playing his rainbow stuff out, but the Smagg kind of triggers a lot of things. Smagg just kind of cancels out Lighthouse. Like, I can't cancel him from using during the attack step, because as long as Smagg is on board, he's treated as all other symbol colors. So Smagg is really good counter to the Lighthouse. So here we go ahead and go in. We get to Sabito, and we get to Sabito at level 3. We have our 6 cores on him. So we're going to go ahead and attack. We pop the Ant, and he's done a lot of pressure. It's been a pretty fast-paced start. We're down to 2. He's down to 3. You see that he just drew into the Beldegor. He gets rid of the burst, the Star Bless, to set a different burst here, and he is just going to pay for another Smagg. So Smagg is on board again. He's got his reduction, level 2. Now he's paying to get the Beldegor out so that he can go ahead and pop our Sabito. A lot of 3 and 4 cost in this deck, so Beldegor is just a menace. And he has another Beldegor in trash already that he can just, if we try to deal with Smagg, he's going to just bring out again. So we're kind of in a tricky situation. Block Golem is nice to be able to block while exhausted, but Beldegor is hoping that you're exhausted. So he swings in here. We decide to go ahead and block for the trade. And he swings with the Golem, he swings at Smagg, and we just have to Ice Shield there. Our hand size is very low, and it's going to be a problem being very defensive here. We get an Enchained Arena, which is good. We can force him to pay cores, and then we'll core up the Golem here, and then we just got to try to draw into something else. So we get the strong draw there. Trying to figure out what stays. I think we keep a Rammer Golem there, hoping that we draw into another Sabito. Yeah, it looks like we're tossing the Constructor Golem, and I think that was the Lyrica Mermaid. I'm not sure. But we go ahead and swing so that we can go ahead and mill him a little bit. And we see both Ks and the Volcanic Break, so that's a good mill for us, because I think he only runs the 2 Ks. So seeing them both go away plus the break is a good thing for us. And so now we just go ahead, swing, we mill 1, Beldegor, of course, and then he takes, and then Dream Bombs our larger blocker away, and that is gonna be a problem. He Dream Bombs the Spirit and the Nexus, so now we can't even block Exhausted like we'd like to. He just summons another Beldegor to pop, and he's cleared our board. We're in a very bad situation here, so I believe we have the Ice Shield to kind of end turn, see if we can stabilize next turn, but it is not looking good. He's down to 1, So if we could get past him somehow unblocked, that would have been the ideal situation. We would need to have had Derm Dyna as he threw away, or the Joker. Arcana Joker would have been a nice situation here. We decided to go ahead and Dream Bomb the Smagg. He accidentally throws it in the trash, but we would tell him no, that it actually goes into the hand. But it doesn't matter because he has a Scope Owl that he can just bring in, block. The block will pop it, and on that pop, before damage is done, he just brings out that Beldegor from trash. Yeah, so see, that Beldegor is such a menace to this blue deck. Yes, the blue deck is very anti-aggro and deals with a lot of low pieces, but Beldegor answers it so well. So here we go to game 2. He gets that Star Blessed draw, and looks like we have a Star Blessed in hand too. I think we're just contemplating doing the same thing, but we know he's got Beldegor, so instead we decide to do the Enchained Arena, bring out a Rammer Golem, and then bait the Star Blessed here by attacking with the Rammer, chipping him damage, and waiting to see if he's going to Beldegor us. And so, yep, there it is, immediately. So we bait Star Blessed draw so that we can get our 2 draws in, because game 1 felt like we were very low on hand size, so we really need to make sure we get our draws in, and then we go ahead and just take the point of damage. Now, funny thing is, we also play a few Beldegors of our own, so we get Rammer Golem, another Rammer Golem, and we get a Block Golem out. Set a burst. We're deciding if we want to get more mill in or go ahead and leave. Putting the 1 core on Enchained Arena won't do much, but it will enable us to block while exhausted. But we know that he's going to take advantage of Beldegor, so we decide to just get the mill side going with that and see if he's going to flash. And he just takes the damage, and then we pass turn. And here we see another Beldegor just to keep, yeah, so like I said, this matchup, Beldegor was definitely MVP for him, because it kept just shutting down our blue plays. Blue was looking good going into this, but at this point it's not that good. We decided to take, we have no choice. We decided to take the damage because we don't want to lose that Rammer Golem. We're hoping to get into a Sabito soon so that we can kind of double pop here. We can deal with both Beldegors if we can get just one Sabito online. So we see strong draw here, and it actually nets us 2 Beldegors. We decided to toss one and a Golem Coliseum. We don't really use the Coliseum too much, honestly. And so here we see the Beldegor come down, so we can deal with one of the Beldegors. And now we're just coring up the arena just so that it has the effect for when his spirits at 5 or less attack. They'll have to pay a core. And we're just gonna have to play defensively right now. We're not in a great position. Our hand size is incredibly low. We're not behind so much because we're at the same life, but the hand size is definitely an issue. And technically, I guess that would be what has us behind. And so here we get into Lyrica. So Lyrica is going to be interesting because during either attack step, I can exhaust the Nexus to make it level 3. Or make it max level, should say. So we go ahead and just swing in with the Beldegor. If it dies, it dies. We get it pop there. And now what we can do is during his attack step, we can trigger our Mermaid effect to tap the Nexus to trigger the Rammer Golem, which will then in turn pop one of the Smaggs. Now the problem is Smagg's a 4 cost, so it will trigger Beldegor. So we have to hope that he can only get one, and realistically his... And yeah, he Volcanic breaks us before we can even get that effect off. So we can trigger the Beldegor. I'm not sure if we just missed that or if we needed the cores. Oh, that's right. It's during the attack step. So, yeah, no Beldegor there because it was main step. And he just goes in with Smagg. We go ahead and trip the Ice Shield. And so, can we come back here? That is going to be the trick. We have to be careful. So we get Allegro out, which isn't ideal, but we do get him to level 3. We can tap the Arena to unsuspend. That'll trigger the effect of Arena to pop one Smagg. Trigger the effect of the Rammer Golem to pop one Smagg. And then he flood streams us. We were not ready for that flood stream. And then pops the Ice Shield. So very, very good counter attack from our opponent. We could have, if it weren't for that flood stream, we were going to try to go for lethal or at least push him down so that way we could have trip that Ice Shield and still have something to block with. But now we are basically completely defenseless. We have nothing to block with, and he's just going to go wide to ensure that he can try to go for game here. So we do have a Flood Stream in hand, and we use it on the Ant-Man while it's attacking, so that way we don't trigger Beldegor, but we do not have any other defensive options, because if we try to pop a Smagg, he's just going to Beldegor us, so that's going to end up being the game. It's a very rough matchup for Blue, all those Smaggs and Beldegors especially, but hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay. Hope you guys come back next time. Let us know what other deck you would like to see.